Hello and welcome to Darrow Marina. We're back on the mainland Fiji. Today we're going to have a look at Dancing Walrus, a Privilege 495, which has arrived with quite an amazing character on board called Misha and his dog. Well, now it's time for him to sail and go on to new adventures. So we're going to introduce you to him and he's going to show you through the boats, and I hope you'll enjoy it. So here she is, Dancing Walrus, second time in Fiji, believe it or not. Two different owners, but just as beautiful. Lots of improvements. Just can't wait to go and discover her and show you all about her.
I'm Mitchell, and this is my boat, Dancing Walrus. It's a Privilege 495 owner's version, which means that it has 3 cabins as opposed to 4. The forward cabin is massive, which I'll love to show you in a few minutes. But right now we're here in the Salon, and I want to tell you first why I bought this boat back in 2017. You know, I had been at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show a couple years before that, and I had gotten the chance to tour a Privilege, I think it was a 445, and it was, you know, I was blown away by the interior woodwork, the design. It was just so well fitted out, such a beautiful boat. And so when I saw this boat, this 495 go on the market, I knew I had to have it, and so I got it. And now it's you know, it's been 3.5 years. This has been my home. Me and my dog Freddy have been sailing the world on here, and I really am gonna miss living on this boat, but it's time to move on to other projects. Okay, so without further ado, let me show you the Salon area, and we'll point out some features of this magnificent boat. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice over here is by the mast, this is actually a vent because you have air conditioning that comes out through here.
And that's an awesome convertible bed / couch, which is just such a good idea, isn't it? You can transfer that, whether you want to use it as a couch or as a bed, and I can see that once it's done as a couch, you don't want to reconvert it as a, once it's done as a bed, you don't want to reconvert it as a couch.
I have the original cushions so that it can be in the original style of being a couch.
Yeah.
Or you can leave the bed, but honestly, the bed is just amazing because it would be quite redundant to have another couch here when you have this couch over here.
Yeah.
I use this whenever I'm underway, whenever I'm sailing solo, I'm sleeping here. There's, you know, no other way about it. Yeah, it's a great feature.
Totally. And the woodwork is quite amazing. I mean, in typical katana fashion, nothing is just like pre-cut by machines. It's all just done in you know, the proper shipwriting, high quality skills, which is really a pleasure to see. After all these years, it hasn't moved one bit.
Yeah, the interior wood is maple.
Maple, yeah.
Yeah.
And I see, like, you actually, because I've seen photos of this boat before you had it, and this was really quite a bit old-fashioned. So you've done a lot of transformation to the navigation area and improved the electronics to really, like,
yes,
third millennium almost.
I'm glad you noticed.
This is really cool.
Yeah, so when I first bought the boat, I upgraded all the electronics. So it had the original Ray Marine chart plotters,
clunky old things,
and whatnot. And I upgraded it all to B&G. So this is a B&G Zeus 2. Yeah. 9-inch display, and then there's, as you'll see, outside there's a 12-inch B&G multifunction display. Up here, this is a C-Zone electrical distribution system, which I installed back in 2020.
Yeah, right. Okay, wow.
So as you can see, we are monitoring the main battery bank. So we have voltage, we have net amps in. Okay, we have our engine starter battery voltage. Then when the generator's on, you'll see the voltage in amps for the generator, shore power. This is for the 230 volt inverter, but we also have two 115 volt inverters as well. Then you see there's the port and starboard fuel tank gauges and water tank gauge. You can control all the electronics and the electrical system on the boat by coming here, and then you'll see it's all organized. Pumps, so we have bilge pumps that you can turn on and off manually or have in auto mode.
Okay.
Lighting for the entire boat. Okay. The electronics, so the autopilot, radar, GPS, chart plotters, nav lights, refrigerators, and so on and so forth.
So basically this entire unit is replacing the old-fashioned massive huge switchboard with all of the independent buttons.
So we have the
Communication
VHF
equipment,
radio, which is a very good unit, this ICOM M604.
With DSC, yeah.
Then this handheld radio, which is also a great thing to have. And then we have our generator remote switch here, which shows if there's ever any issues, it will show you what the issue is by blinking. Okay.
BNG touchpad control. BNG Zeus, you said?
Yes, this is a Zeus
Okay.
9-inch unit.
Yeah. And touchpad, so show me what it can do.
Okay, so well, you can see our AIS targets here in the marina. Okay, so it has a whole lot of features. I mean, where do I start? But we have our radar we can go to. We can also overlay the radar onto the chart. Okay, so this is the radar. We just turn on the radar like so. And now, as you can see, it's overlaying onto the chart plotter.
Right. Looks
like
like
so.
afternoon thunderstorms again.
Yeah,
All
so
your
for the
depths
autopilot, you just click over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you can engage it. You can set it to maintain either a compass heading, or you can have it maintain a wind angle, which is really great. If you don't want to be too active on the helm, and you want to just be able to maintain a certain wind angle, so that, like, for instance, if you're close hauling, that you're not going to the wind's not going to shift a little bit and then suddenly you're luffing your sails, so the boat will turn off the wind a little bit.
So a very intelligent system. Okay, so regrouping depths, rudder angle, okay, cool. And these instruments are repeated upstairs in the cockpit?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And they're both connected, so that what you do on one will happen to the other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You can change your autopilot heading on one, and then go to the other one and change it.
Interface.
And it works seamlessly. Also, you're even able to operate the C zone from these as well. So you can go to C zone here, control, monitor, and it's going to have everything that you can do on here. You can do on the C zone, on the BNG chart plotters. So that's good for when you're outside and you're lazy. You don't want to come inside to turn on something at the C zone. You can just do it at the helm station.
Okay, yeah. So the way I'm looking at this is that it's actually super simplified as well as safer. It's the kind of standards you'd expect on a super yacht. But even though it's complicated technology, it's very simple to use. So I understand why you went for this as a solo sailor, so that you could, just not have to worry about too many ups and downs running around. And
I'm just a real
makes a lot of sense.
fan of technology.
Yeah, I can see that.
Some other things I want to show you here is this is a remote control for the Spectra Newport 400 water maker,
yeah.
which makes about 17 to 18 gallons of water per hour. That's about 60 liters per hour, I believe.
Yeah.
If my math is correct. All you have to do to turn on the water maker is you just press this button auto run, and then each time you press it, it adds an hour to the time.
Yeah.
Right? And then it will automatically, once it's finished, it will auto flush with fresh water.
Auto flush. Yeah. All your battery and voltmeters.
So this is a repeater. The actual outback is in the engine rooms.
Oh, okay.
The outbacks are in the engine rooms.
Right.
Yeah, because I have 8 solar panels, and they're split into 2 groups, and so there's 2 outbacks. They're on 2 different systems. So there's
so if one goes down, the other one still works.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant.
If you look over here, you'll see we have 115 volt outlets.
Yeah.
This is connected to one of the 2 inverters that are.
Okay,
so the boat has a dual voltage electrical system. So it has both 240 volt and 115 volt outlets throughout the boat. Okay, we have 3 inverters on the boat, one 240 volt inverter, a Phoenix, Victron Phoenix, and then the 2 115 volt inverters.
Is it right now connected to shore power?
No, actually, it's not connected to shore power. It's very rare that you'll ever have to connect to shore power.
Okay.
I never run the generator.
Yeah.
And that's because there's 2,000 watts of solar power, right? So.
It's redundant. Mm-hmm.
So you'll very rarely ever have to be connected to shore power.
Okay.
You can also use the generator, which I only use for air conditioning and to run the washing machine.
Okay, so let's just pretend tonight you just want to... It's actually one of the hottest days we've had since February, middle of the cyclone season today, and it's just like crazy hot. So let's just pretend you want to plug your boat to the inverter here. I don't know what the ampage of the actual tower on the thing, but providing they can provide you with a actual ampage match, you can get 50 megahertz or 60 megahertz, which means that you can actually feed the right power to your inverter, which will then convert power to your boat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can use whichever ones you want. If you want to replace a 115 volt appliance with a 220 volt appliance, then you can just switch outlets.
All right,
okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really good to know. So I've been given the privilege, forgive the pun, to go and explore your Privilege Catamaran, and I'm really curious to see, I know those boats have a reputation to be the absolute panacea when it comes to luxury underwater, as well as safety and speed and everything else, but this is where it kind of also happens for us, so let's have a look at that. So yeah, some people say they prefer to have the galley upstairs, but to be perfectly honest, I actually like to have it down here. It's better, there's less, wind coming over with dust and everything. You can still see outside, and you've got more room. It's also better to brace yourself if you're on the ocean. What I would call a kitchen, which is also almost like a commercial grade kitchen, which we all spent quite a bit of time on super yachts, and so you want a kitchen that's commercial grade. If you wanted to have this all stainless steel, but for now this coil is in perfect condition. You've got your microwave here, you've got heaps of storage, and this fridge is the same size as I've seen on a 100-foot catamaran. So is the envy of most people out here. I mean, how good is it? Right now there's no point because the wind's coming from the other side, but this is good for cross-cut ventilation. This is pretty cool too, I have to say. Right, and then if you move forward, you get into this totally unique to Privilege layout, which puts the master cabin at the gravity center of the boat. So with overhead hatches, side hatches, which you can obscure up. Right now they're just shielded down, so you have some a little bit of protection from the sun, which is right now coming from the south because it's sunset almost. Heaps of storage. I would say this is, in American words, is it like a king size?
Yes, this is a king size.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty awesome. And then massive television, so you can watch movies in bed. This is a real home, you know. And again, when you look closely, it's not just flash. When you look in the details, you also see the workmanship of a Privilege Catamaran and the, you know, all of this as a shipwright. This is really special. You don't find this anymore. But this is beautiful. It also means if the boat's jumping around, you won't hit something sharp. It's still good. You have places to grab everywhere. And so coming back down this way, we come into the bathroom. So there is some, so Misha was telling me there is, parts of it has been retrofitted by the previous owner, and you can take it away or you can keep it. He was telling me that he didn't really feel like keeping it until he realized he actually liked to use it, so he kept it. But you can do whatever you want with it, just lift it off it goes, it's no big deal. It hasn't damaged any of the carpentry below. And then there is toilet here, and then on the other side. And onto this side, you go down into the guest side, which I'll show you is amazing. You even have your own private office, which I'm very jealous about. So you come down. You'd appreciate the companionway is really nice and wide. There's places to hold on to, so at sea you will not be, you know, just lost. And then here is one of the guest cabin. Empty right now, obviously, there is no guest on board, but it's ready for your guest. And then one of the other head areas. And I'll close the door so that head area is purely dedicated to this guest ensuite, okay, or master ensuite as you call it in America. I think you call them something or other. And then you go into this really amazing office space, as many of us do, and it's becoming more and more of a trend every single year. People run their office, their business from their boat as they travel around the world. And so this is quite unique, and you won't find something like this on a different boat. This is really, really unique. And so let's have a look at this office space. So you can close both doors and be completely isolated. If people are making noise, it's well insulated. You're in your own space. You can close the door. You'll notice the details, you know, privileged details in it is in every way, even the quality of the screw that they would use for a feature like that. The curvature of every angle, you know, the beauty of the timbers they used. So here, obviously, you know, that can be used as a navigation area, but really this is an office. Again, there is a few of those previous owner DIY thing which we can throw away or keep, whatever. For now it's being useful. And then moving back into the master cabin again, which is palatial. Is that the proper English way to describe it? And then here is serious pièce de résistance. As a French boat designer, we appreciate having really cool showers. And so there you go. I believe there are a few privileged around the world who have the same shower feature, but that's the first one I've seen in real life. And it's generally generously supplied by the watermaker. and also a very, very fast producing hot water maker. So within a few minutes, if you have run out of hot water, it will come back. So that's pretty awesome. Secret compartment in your office.
Yes. Let's not talk about that. But actually, one of the great things about Privilege 495 is the amount of storage. I mean, it's unbelievable if you think about it. I mean, look at all this beautiful cabinetry here. You have storage here, here, and here. Over on this side.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Over on this side, you get more storage. Okay, and then here you'll notice there's a washing machine.
Oh yeah. Wow, this is full on family size.
The washing machine runs on 220 volts. Okay. And
so you can run it off your inverter, or is that okay?
Yes, I suggest because of the high usage, yes, I would at least turn on the generator. Okay, when you're using the washing machine. Yeah. But all you have to do is just plug this into the 220 volt outlet and it will run. Oh, here, lots of storage. Okay.
And vented so you don't have problems with mold and things like that. So.
Then, inside the master stateroom, we have the his/her, cabinetry. So it's exactly the same on both sides. You'll have both. You'll have a tall cabinet to put, nice shirts, pants, dresses, whatever. Okay, so both sides of this stateroom have the exact same cabinetry. That's why I call it his/hers. Now this was created by the previous owner, and I kept it because it's just great to have extra storage, although there's nothing here. But on the other side, I do have some clothes that are put into there. Okay, then we have here some more cabinetry, and again, more cabinetry. You can see I keep like all my shoes in here. Yeah. I'm like a woman, I have so many shoes. No, I'm just...
Nowhere near. But it's great how this cabinetry is done. There is no push buttons or anything that is just normally just deteriorates and gets annoying. So, yeah. Just beautiful finishing. And the floor is in such perfect condition all through the boat. And I know that you have Freddy with you, and dogs have clothes, but there is no damage anywhere. Nothing.
Yeah, the floors are in very good shape. Also, another thing you'll notice is that all the bulkheads have a liner, so you won't find any bare fiberglass other than in the heads and showers. Yeah. Okay, so it's really nice to have this warm, feeling, as opposed to the cold, bare fiberglass. I agree. So you have both this type of material, but also in a lot of places you'll see you have this material, this meshy material.
Yeah, that looks nice actually. It's almost like the local Fijian weaving type. It looks beautiful. Have a look at the second guest cabin, which is right now being used as a storage room. Again, king size bed with plenty of storage, ready to receive your guests, just right now being used as a storage room. With lots and lots of storage again. This is one of the previous owner's additions, but here we have some more cupboards area, which are just currently being used as, again, just ship stores. Not because there's not enough room in the galley, just because you can, because you have the luxury of having a room to yourself. And then, sit head.
An ensuite.
Yeah. So everyone just has their own head area. Let's look at the more technical bits. Lifeline batteries. So when did you replace those? Okay.
Yeah, these were replaced in late 2018. Yeah, these are like military grade. They use these in like military vehicles and stuff.
Oh, right, yeah. We have the navigation instruments, so you just had them put in?
Yes, I had them installed back in 2018, actually, to replace all the original electronics that were on the boat. This is a Zeus 2 12-inch display, and of course we also have the Zeus 2 that's inside the Salon. Then here is a Triton display, and so it's nice just to have another screen to show more information, because you just can't fit it all on one screen. So then here you can have like your wind direction and you know, various other features.
VHF Radio down here.
One of the great features about this boat is that it has this wet bar, and when I bought the boat it didn't have this. I had it created in Trinidad in 2019, and I think it's a beautiful design. It looks like it comes straight from the factory, and you know, I use the sink almost as much as I use the kitchen sink. So it's extremely useful, especially for a cruising couple or cruising family. You just don't need all the extra seating that would be here. This is a much more useful artifact.
Yeah, and you already have all the seating in the back here anyway. You're right, this is very useful and very well made too.
And this seat is actually made of mahogany, and then it's been covered in several coats of epoxy. And underneath the seat you have a storage space. Okay, so inside here you can store all sorts of chemicals, polish, you know, wax. So it's quite a bit of space in there for storage.
Yeah.
And if someone were interested, they could even put a cooler underneath the sink, because there's still quite a lot of space inside here that is just empty space. So it's something to think about.
So it's hollow, basically, so someone can just design exactly the space they need to install an ice maker or a cooler or something. Great idea. And that's unique to your boat and not at all a Privilege design. So
yeah, you won't find another Privilege that has this feature.
Yeah. I saw that right away. And then the seating area, that's just awesome.
Yeah, so over here we have storage for the propane tanks. On this boat, there are two 20-pound propane tanks. So it's a tremendous amount of propane. For me, I can go for more than 6 months without having to refill a tank. Over here, we have even more storage. So under these seats, there's quite a lot of storage. It's a very deep locker, and so you can keep you know, like
oh wow, yeah, lots of space here.
You know, I just keep a whole lot of different things in here. And finally, under the deck we have 3 very large lockers. This one here is made for a life raft because it's accessible from both the top and the bottom if the boat were to flip.
Yes.
Okay, and then over here, this is where I store some of my scuba gear.
Oh yes, another huge compartment.
And then in this one I have, it's where I keep my dinghy fuel and some other stuff.
Yes.
Okay, so really just tons of storage.
Yeah.
All 3 lockers are vented, so there's no need to worry about flammable gases building up. Okay, so this boat has electric winches, and all you have to do is press these 2 buttons. You have 2 speeds, slow, fast. Okay, Okay, so this winch right here is for the Genoa, one of the Genoa sheets, the
Okay.
core-side Genoa sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this winch is for the Genoa in-haul,
Okay.
for the roller furler. Unique feature about this boat is the way that you can move the Genoa Traveler forward and aft without having to lift up the pin, which would be very, very difficult if there's a lot of tension on the sheet. So what you would do is, to move it forward, all you have to do is just undo this rope clutch here, and then you can just pull on this line and you'll see that the Traveler moves forward.
Yeah.
Then if you want to move it back, all you have to do is just take up on the Genoa sheet and it's going to push it aft.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then you just make sure you lock it and you're good to go.
Yeah, another thing to put in and out of that section of the roof. Gives you extra visibility, but the visibility is still very, very, very good, even when it's
Dogs
close.
not included though.
that will be a big dispute. I can see